Tim Robel from the ExtremeEnduroStore.com, and this is my one-year review of my KTM 300 XCW. So 2013, bike's got about 40 hours on it now, and it has held up outstanding. I've done general maintenance, cleaned the air filter, changed the gear oil about every six hours or so. I went through a couple pipes before I decided to design our Extreme Enduro Store skid plate that actually covers the bike and kind of ties everything in together as one. Some of the other modifications that I've done to the bike, I do the Extreme Enduro Store bar buttons, which actually drill and tap into the bars, and then a grade 9 stainless fastener goes in to hold the Circa Pro-Bin handguards that work excellent. For this trim right here, this is the trim for Extreme Enduro and for my trials event. So I tend to leave the front headlight on, and I have added the Scott steering stabilizer. Did that for King of the Motos, and I felt that really helped out for fatigue factor on the bike for several hours. With the pegs I'm running are the Fastway foot pegs that I mill 250 thousandths off of. So now they're 3/4 low and 1/2 inch back. I run my chain and sprocket combination as far forward with the wheel as possible so I can provide more weight to the rear tire. Extreme enduro conditions, I tend to run a 1252 sprocket for this bike. Other than that, that's pretty much it. The bike is bone stock motor inside wise. I did do some JD Jet Kit, and that helped out a little bit. And I did turn out the power valve so it's flush with the outside of the case, and I run the light spring, so that opens the power valve right off of idle almost immediately, and it gives you a real linear power. I'm really not a 2-stroke guy. I prefer a 4-stroke, but you just can't ride a 4-stroke, in my opinion, very reliable in the extreme enduro conditions for how I ride. The bike runs extremely cool. I do have a cooling fan on it, but realistically that fan only comes on a couple times. You know, you're in a real tight canyon in first gear stuck and idling for a minute. That's about the only time I see that fan come on. So right now we're 2 days away from Ontario's EnduroCross. This bike has 3 EnduroCross events on it. A ton of pre-running for King of the Motos, 1 King of the Motos race, and a lot of single track use, and of course training out at Glen Helen's EnduroCross track and backwoods. So that's pretty much it. We're going to do a transformation of this bike where I'm going to install the new Dirt Tricks sprocket. I selected the Dirt Tricks sprocket simply because it's a chromoly design. It's still lightweight, but what I'm having with like the Super Sprox type of sprocket, I'm having a little bit of issue with the aluminum bending when I'm in the rocks. So I'm hoping that this sprocket, being that it's made out of a chromoly, it's a harder compound than the 7075 T6 aluminum that they're using in the Super Sprox. So I'm hoping to get a little bit more durability out of this down in the rocks than I did with that. So made a choice on that. I have a new tire and wheel package that I'll be fitting on the bike, and we're going to go ahead and graphic it up and just try to make it look nice and pretty for this event, and hopefully I don't spend too much time on the ground. I will say that about this bike. This bike has been on the ground more than any other bike I've owned, probably cumulative from all the bikes I've owned. It does spend a lot of time on the ground because with this bike I tend to ride stuff that is just gnarly. Take EnduroCross or King of the Motos and combine the hardness of both of those together, and that's basically what I enjoy riding. So I'll take you for a quick loop around the bike, and then we'll get back to doing some prep for EnduroCross. Coming into view, you can see the prototype skid plate that I built for the KTM XCW. The new production version is going to have something that will cover the magneto cover and that electric starter area in there. Up to the top, just a quick look at the Scott steering stabilizer and the bar buttons installed with the Circa Pro-Bin handguards. Still using the stock chain, and as you can see I'm running the Super Sprox 52 tooth sprocket. Looking forward to getting the Dirt Trick sprocket on and seeing how that holds up in the rocks. Out back for the silencer, I'm using Enduro Engineering's end cap. And just a quick look down at the skid plate, you can see that it covers the clutch side, and the power valve right there that I'm pointing to has been backed out so it's flush. This bike really has taken a lot of abuse and crashes throughout the last year. And up front, that's pretty much a good tour around the bike, and I'm still running my King of the Motos number plate. So time for the transformation. One of the first things that I wanted to do with this build was update the front fender with the new 2014 model. That meant having to build a new adapter plate from the 4-hole on the bottom to a 2 on the bottom and 2 in the front, and that adapter will be available on the store in the next week. The Dirt Trick sprocket that I installed held up amazingly well in the EnduroCross conditions, runs true, straight, and never had a problem in any chain issues all weekend. The Dunlop tires gave me great traction throughout the night, and the Tusk impact wheels really performed flawlessly. Another shout out to Decal Works for making the Extreme Enduro Store bike look amazing. Another quick look at our adapter, and on the front wheel I'm using the Tusk front disc and it performed flawlessly. I can't tell the difference between it and stock, and it's about half price. Thank you for watching the Extreme Enduro Store's 2013 KTM 300 XCW EnduroCross Prep and 1-year review. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you here next time.